When it comes to modern dating with the goal of marriage in mind, are you wasting your time? Which pool are you in? Which pool are you looking in? When it comes to dating and marriage, both men and women should understand what value they bring to the marriage table. Generally, when a man is dating a woman, he either sees her as wife material or non-wife material. Women should understand this and date with a purpose so that within 6 months to a year, it should be clear if marriage is the next step. Men value and seek compatibility, companionship, helpmate or support, and legacy or the ability of a woman to have children because most men marry for legacy. These attributes are not in any specific order because the degree to which they are important is impacted by the man's stage in life as well as age. A 60-year-old man is likely not as concerned with wanting to have kids. For women, the value they look for in a man includes compatibility, companionship, and the ability of a man to provide or support a family. Yes, even women who are financially stable would still like for their man to take care of them. Again, these things vary in importance for different women based on their stage of life. For women interested in having children, you can't afford to waste valuable time dating without a purpose because unfortunately, as women age, the pool of interested guys shrinks. Guys interested in having kids tend to have an increased pool to choose from, as they age up to a certain age and would tend to seek generally younger women. Especially for educated modern women, your professional and financial accomplishments should not become a barrier because you come across as uncooperative and unwilling to let your man lead his home. The modern independent woman mantra comes with a price of potentially not finding a suitable mate. So when it comes to dating, everyone needs to understand which dating pool they are in and which dating pool presents the most opportunities for them. Women should position themselves to be found by the dating pool or group of men that they are most likely to match with, while men should seek their wives in the dating pool that presents the likeliest matches. So, for the sake of generalizing the research on dating pools, here are the general groups. Group Pool 1. Singles younger than 27 years of age and no kids. This is the prime age group or pool for marrying for both men and women who are in the state of readiness. Please review our article on when to get married. Typically, the largest pool to find a mate is during your college years, where most people are trying to lay the foundation for their professional and financial future. By the time you graduate out of college, the dating pool begins to shrink. Typically, you are in a work environment, and your chances of meeting new potential partners begin to be limited to official gatherings, social gatherings, parties, church, and so on. For women, this age group, particularly as they get closer to 27, are the prime years for childbearing biologically speaking. So typically, there is societal and mental pressure on women within this age range, particularly if having children is a desire. Of course, everyone wants financial stability, and it is needed to support a family. So, depending on what type of lifestyle a woman desires, the age range or pool of guys she can date would range up to 40 years, as most men don't reach their financial stride until about that age. Again, please see our article on the state of readiness. Some men don't reach that state of readiness until about age 40, and most men marry for legacy, that is to have kids and have a family of their own. So, the majority of men look to this pool of women to choose a mate. What makes a man in this age group attractive to most women, even if he hasn't reached his financial peak, are traits, such as profession or career or job, which most see as a determinant of future potential, his character or level of being God-fearing, obviously his looks, and how he presents himself and personality. To find people in this dating age group or any of the others we will mention, you have to make yourself available by going where the group frequents. Make yourself available to be found. That means go where your target pool is, at church, volunteer events for common interests, weddings, hobby events, service organizations like choir. Making yourself available implies being in a state of readiness. See our Facebook article on this topic. This is where platforms such as ours help make the pool accessible to more people. One of the missions of our platform is to expand the range and reach of the dating pool beyond just your immediate physical environment. Again, the idea is that as you go about your daily life, the app lets you see those around you who are of a like mind searching for a relationship. Group Pool 2, Singles, ages 27 to 40 years with no kids. As mentioned earlier, the age group with no kids constitutes a separate group based on research. Men in this age group typically are in the most desirable time of their life if they are in the state of readiness. See our article that talks about the state of readiness. Within this age range and closer to 40 years, most men have established a career path or have financially established themselves to be able to support a family with the support of a compatible spouse. Women seek financial security among other things, which is why the phenomenon that is prevalent these days of younger women seeking men older than them comes into play. Even in instances where a woman makes more money than her husband, most women still want men that can financially support the basic needs of their family. For women in this age group, the dating or marriage pool begins to shrink because in today's society where many are delaying marriage, the number of women in this group is growing with fewer men to go around. This is because most men look into the younger group, under 27 years, first and consider this group a second option. In addition, too many women in this group believe they deserve better than the group of men in this age group because of their educational or career accomplishments. So, women in the lower part of this age group typically match up with men in the upper half of the group. For women in the upper half of this age group, closer to 40 years, the pool of men begins to shrink partly because, as mentioned earlier, women in the younger age group are now in the dating pool for men in this group who are in their career or financial prime. In addition, women in this group now have childbearing considerations to deal with. If you get married at this age, then if you're looking to have children, your career will probably take an impact from having to miss work for childbearing. Group 3. Singles 40 years and above, no kids. This dating age group or pool is very nuanced and mixed. Men and women in this age group are typically more settled career-wise and their expectation standards are higher. The men usually have a wider pool of potential mates down to women in their 20s who are looking for a more financially stable man. However, women in this age group who are also more established career-wise now have a limited pool to choose from. Most men typically marry for reasons of having kids and typically don't look into this age group as a first option. However, because of the biological component and the fact that most men look to marry to have kids, this pool of women are sometimes excluded because of the biological implications of late-age pregnancies. In addition, single women in this group may have their own standards that mostly men in this group or older cannot meet. So typically the pool of men is mostly limited to single men in this group or men who have been divorced or widowed. The fourth group is any of the aforementioned groups who are single with kids. This dating pool is unfortunately growing in today's society. On the group chat on our platform, many have asked questions about why is it difficult for single parents with kids to find a mate. The reality and what research shows is that being single with kids poses an additional consideration for those looking to marry. A single woman with kids is mostly looking for a stepdad for her kids, and most men don't choose being a stepdad as a first option. They would typically look into the groups mentioned earlier of those without kids. In the corollary case, most women don't choose being a stepmom as a first option. But typically if the man in most cases is able to provide for the family, it seems that more women are willing to marry a guy with kids than the other way around. We have largely been addressing divorced single parents. This serves as another reminder that it is very important to do one's due diligence in getting married the first time, and just as importantly in who to have kids with. For those who have kids out of wedlock, unfortunately, there is an additional consideration from a potential spouse, especially for women, as to why you have a kid out of wedlock when considering a Christian marriage. Bringing kids from a prior relationship brings with it additional considerations in the family and relationship dynamic between the husband and the wife outside of the regular challenges a marriage would have. For singles in this category, there needs to be a very conscious decision to ask the question, what makes me unique, or why should someone want to marry me instead of someone without kids? Today's dating pool has unfortunately grown so large, yet so many people are still single because they are not being cognizant of the factors at play in their particular situation. Unfortunately, too many people waste their prime dating or marriage years with unrealistic expectations rather than focus on getting in the state of readiness as quickly as possible and doing their due diligence in finding a mate. You have to date with the purpose of marriage in mind so that both parties are fully aware of why they are dating. Typically within 6 months to a year, it should be clear to both individuals if marriage is the next step. If it isn't, then whatever the issues are that are preventing moving toward marriage need to be addressed either as a unit moving towards marriage or separately, which may mean the relationship needs to take a break or be broken up. Wasting time aimlessly dating only guarantees a life of singleness and loneliness, or at best, marrying late with lots of baggage being brought into the relationship by both parties from their respective past relationships. The profile questions on our platform, RedeemedConnection, are aimed at helping each person gain some insight into the other person's personality so that an informed decision can be made on whether to go forward or not. There is a lot of personal responsibility and reflection in this process. Are you in a state of readiness? Are you compatible? And are you ready to be a companion and be supportive? No one is perfect. See our Facebook articles on the 80-20 relationship theory. Understand why get married and doing your due diligence to ensure that you make the best possible choice in a mate. If this video has blessed you, please subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook at RedeemedConnection. Also, please share this article with someone it may be a blessing to. Download the app RedeemedConnection from the Apple and Google Play Store. Thank you.